This podcast is a production of Unfiltered Studios. If you would like to know more about joining Unfiltered Studios, please visit our website at unfpod.com for more information.
I can't believe you get to sail around the world delivering boats for a living. Where are we heading?
Signet Reef.
What's there?
You'll see. We're here.
Wow.
What happened? Must have hit something. This boat's gonna sink. There's land over there, and that's where I think we should be going.
I fish these waters, mate. I know what's out there. I'm not getting in the water.
What's that?
What?
Something's following us. Susie, you're freaking me out.
Get back. Oh, it's a shark. How big? It's big. Take some deep breaths with me. Swim. Swim! Somebody help us! Take me! Take me!
Look at that. It's amazing, isn't it? 3 days of paddling.
What could possibly go wrong?
I thought I heard something. Maybe it's the man in the grey suit. What? That's what surfers call sharks. They're pretty timid usually. It's the big ones you have to worry about.
Oh my God! That thing is stalking us. It's hunting us, and it's not going to stop. We have to get to the island. There are kids in the water.
Oh my God.
Oh my God, it's coming.
We have to get rid of it. So let's just kill it.
We're going to trap it in the net.
Got Darren Gaskell back from the HD Movie Podcast. It's been a minute. We had you on like when we were like first starting, and we were
yeah. It seems like it's a very long time ago. I think I basically remember it. We were talking about Jello movies. I think that was the one.
Correct. Yeah, and it was just interesting because it was just it went bigger than the topic. We're just like, yeah, it's wild what subgenres are bigger than for certain crowds, and just how divisive some of these movies can be.
Yeah, so we're on to a topic that's not divisive at all.
But yeah, I got Darren Gaskell from the HD Movie Podcast, and it's always a delight just seeing how you go with a different theme every month. And again, got good comrades, and I'm glad to have you back on here. It's, well, what time of year? It's Shark Week. And it's so funny. I just never knew it was an actual thing. I just thought it was a random marketing term, and it's like, no.
There is a thing. There is a thing. And yeah.
People go spotting sharks, and normally normally I would be like, that sounds dumb and everything. It's like, no, a lot of them are looking at it from afar, and it's not just daredevils and deep sea divers. Like some of these people are just like it's almost kind of like Spot the Groundhog,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And certainly on our podcast for the last few years, we've been doing Summer of Sharks. So we've covered
Yes.
various shark movies over the last 3 or 4 years.
Do you ever watch the Discovery Channel specials?
We've done a couple of them, but I mean, we tend to favor the movies.
Oh no, trust me, the movies are always better because I mean,
yeah, because they're unfettered by things like fact and physics. Because certainly there's some shark movies that it's like, well, do you think a shark can really do that? Well, who cares? It's just a movie.
it pretty much ruined sharks for us. We're just like, yeah, I know, yes, they're really only going to come to you if like you bump into them continually or
Yeah.
there's blood in the water, but it's like, yeah, well, how else am I going to have dramatic material in a movie, in a blockbuster film? And
Yeah, exactly.
I think you reviewed this one, the Reef.
Yes, yeah, we've done both Reef movies.
This was
on
a
the
fun
podcast.
rewatch. Like it was one I knew I'd seen.
Yeah.
I didn't remember much about it. I knew it was sound and competent. I resaw it again this year. I'm like, wow, I kind of want to see more from director Andrew Trotsky, I think is how I pronounce it.
Yeah, yeah.
I've been disappointed by his crocodile terror films, Blackwater, but
Yeah.
let's get to the positives. Like this, so basically it starred two actors who were from the syndicated Australian gangster show Undercover, which deals with narcs and gangsters and strip club owners. Guyton James Grantley and Damien Wash Howling. It also starred Adrian Pickering, who has been in a lot of Australian movies and soaps. This is probably one of her best known roles. And then Kieran Darcy Smith, who's now become a bit of a taut director. You've seen him in the creature feature, The K, with Lena Headey and Morris Chestnut, which wasn't very good. But then he was in the noir thriller The Square. He works a lot with Joel and his stuntman actor brother Nash Edgerton. I wouldn't be surprised if he inspired Joel. Hey, I want to become a director. But yeah, he did the mystery film Wish You Were Here, as well as The Duel, which had Woody Harrelson, Lucy Braga, and William Hurt. And so yeah, it has basically everybody ends up also being someone who works behind the camera. And I think I like it just because like the survival is the star, and so that way you don't get disappointed, because it was kind of a sleeper hit. Like it was distributed by Lightning Entertainment, which was acquiring some international productions. Then to build up hype, totally uncommon. You couldn't do this today, and it's not that it's politically incorrect or anything. It's just like they were streaming the film online while in production. Like they were just showing what the cameras were picking up once they got picked up. Like it was based on an actual story of a similar incident from 83, but yeah, they were showing what B-roll, like additional shark footage they were picking up, like to build up hype for the movie. I'm like, and I do actually applaud. Well, we'll get to these later, but like it was interesting how they didn't even though it was based on a true story, it just the Queensland tourism was afraid that it would actually hurt the tourist attractions.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's almost like a reverse Jaws, kind of like.
It is, yes. Yeah, exactly.
We're not afraid that people will die. We're just actually afraid like this will injure our reputation. It's not that people are dying. It's just it's building up the fear.
I mean, it's kind of weird and that Australians would worry about things that can kill you affecting the tourist industry, because I've been to Australia a number of times. Snakes can kill you, spiders can kill you, sharks can kill you. I'm pretty much everything that's out of the city centres in Australia is going to kill you. So I don't think a shark movie would
Kind of
affect,
redundant at this rate.
it would affect Queensland's tourist industry.
Gangsters will kill you, and I don't think you're going to run into
I've been
gangsters.
to Queensland. I mean, there's a bit of a running gag in Australia that like all the mad people are in Queensland, and it's only half true. But I would think that there are more lethal
Allergies
things
will kill you.
Yeah,
Shit.
more lethal things waiting for you in Queensland than just sharks. I mean, you don't have to go in the water basically, but yeah, it's an odd thing. And the fact that these sort of stories happen in Australia semi-regularly. So for one movie to come in and say, we're going to make a movie about the shark attacking people, for some tourist board to say, oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. It's going to affect the people coming here. It's like, I don't think so. And then they went and made Bait, which is a shark movie set in an Aussie supermarket that's flooded. So, I mean,
perfect example. Australia bit the bullet and said,
did that stop Aussies going to the supermarket because there might be sharks in the supermarket?
I think people can tell reality from fiction. And even though this was based on an event, like, I think this is it. Like, people dug it because it just felt like the acting was competent. Like, you felt like these people weren't just reading off a cue card or anything. It's like, they're focused on the shock, and if anything, blockbuster movie people should watch a movie like this. Is like, here's how you tell your actors to respond to something that's not there, like, just get them in the zone. The dialogue feels like every day without being, I guess, generic or cliche, if that makes sense. Like, there's many times where they're just looking around and just trying to, like, de-stress, heavy breathing exercises,
It does feel a lot more realistic than a lot of shark movies do.
Instead of, I guess I'll go back in the water. It's like, no, now we're gonna root for you to die if you do that. Stupid.
Yeah. Or the interminable bit in Jaws: The Revenge where Lorraine Gary shouts that kid's name for about, well, it seems like 15 minutes.
Word.
Yeah, it's like, she screams the kid's name, Thea, over and over again, and it's like, well, firstly,
what do you want to have changed? That's gonna be it.
It's like, we know what the kid's called, and just shouting it over and over isn't really going to affect what's going to happen out in the water. I mean, Jaws: The Revenge has got its own special place in my heart, not because it's a good movie, because it clearly isn't. But there is
trashiest horror people don't want to even call it a good movie. Like, they're just like,
exactly.
It's just kind of just one of those, you're like, did no one give any notes at all?
Yeah, I do like the fact, and this is a spoiler for anybody that hasn't seen Jaws: Revenge. I mean, to be perfectly honest, you don't need to see it. But the fact is that I remember first watching it, and Mario Van Peebles' character clearly dies at the end. He's in the shark's mouth and there's blood spurting out everywhere. And I'm thinking, like, oh, that's a bit of a shame. I liked Mario Van Peebles in this movie. And then 5 minutes later, he surfaces and he's all right.
Right. There's like different alternate versions of the shark's death as well as his death, and you're like, can you not commit? Jeez.
Yeah. I do like Michael Caine's attitude to it, where he said something along the lines of, I heard the movie's terrible, but the house it bought my mother, the house that I bought for my mother from it looks really nice. Right. So Michael Caine he knew what it was. I mean, I think he missed picking up the Oscar for Hannah and Her Sisters because he was filming Jaws: The Revenge. It
was something like that. It's just like, hey, a man's got standards.
Yeah. No, I mean, when Michael Caine needs to pay the bills, there he is.
Pay it forward, baby. Get your parents that house. And I guess the Reef, we're not doing it justice. Like, it really, like, so many movies fall flat because they advertise a creature feature and then just have boring segments in between. And I think it's like you see the fin for the longest time, and then there's 30 more minutes where you don't see anything. You just see them in the cave and panicking and trying to locate each other. It does a good job with lighting and the claustrophobia of it all. So I think it shouldn't work at all, but it works really solid. And then last 10 minutes, we're back to shark attacks again. It's like, see? And then more survival again. It's it's a unusual repetition, I guess, and showing their paranoia, showing how half the time, it looks like a rock coming out of the water. It's 2010. I think you could still have something like this now. You would probably want to use a cell phone device. It's like, I'm not getting reception. I can't call anyone for help.
But yeah, it is a good movie. It's certainly one of the ones that we liked more than some of the others on the podcast, because we've covered some rubbish. And if you're going to cover 30 odd shark movies, you're going to get rubbish.
Briefly back to The Reef. I was so stoked for that sequel.
Yes.
And I don't know what you thought of it. I just kind of thought it was a shadow of the former. I was like, so who is this for now? Like, it's faster pace, but RLGE Films has been a reliable kind of indie filmmaking company. That they figured out the whole video on demand company. They were formerly Image Entertainment, but then they produced it for Shudder, which was taken off as AMC's horror mystery streaming platform. And then it just comes out. It does numbers on Hulu, and I checked it out, and then I'm like, well, so they kind of waited too long. It's a decade after the first Sleeper film. And I felt like everybody, again, a lot of the characters are dumb in these kinds of movies. They're just it doesn't make you, it takes the guilt away from seeing all the slaughter and over the top violence. But at the same time, like, you're just like, so I just find it hard to believe this is the same people who worked on this.
Yeah, it's an interesting one, because I mean, you're right. They left it a very long time for the sequel, and I'm not entirely sure why it took so long to get to the next one. and I think Haley and I, we did watch it and quite enjoyed it, because we liked the sort of the whole thing that it's a group of girls and let's see what they do with it. But it's nowhere near as tense as the first one. So
gotcha.
I think we enjoyed it while we were watching it, and and the performances are okay, and I like the fact that it's
definitely better than some other shark movies this company did. There was one called Great White, which had barely a story. It reminded me of a lot of dubbed Italian movies that are kind of ripping off the Deep Calm, Night in the Water formula. Is like, let's have a love triangle gone wrong, and they're all fighting each other, and then there's just a shark for 5 minutes, but we're going to put it on the cover so we get more people come and do it. And it is kind of like the zombie movie marketing. Just putting a shark on a poster guarantees that people will check it out. Even if it is the most vile piece of garbage in the world, they will see it. Just curiosity killed the cat.
And that person is generally me. If I see
I do too, dude. You say like, zombies, you say
there's
shark.
A shark in this. Yeah, there's a shark
crocodile,
in this movie. Might just check it out, and then as usual,
it can't be that bad. Ooh.
Yeah, kick myself for sitting through 85 minutes of it for the 2 minutes of shark footage in there. But I will get conned over and over again if I see something that's like, this could be a shark movie.
Maybe that's what they should do. Like, instead of ripping off movies, start doing what the cheesy stuff they did in the late 90s, early 2000s, where you just take all the stock footage from lesser movies and put them in better movies. See what I did there? Instead of rip off better movies, just take the shit that did work in the bad movies and put it in like something else. It's like, see, you didn't have to spend any money on the shark effects. I got them from a better indie movie that was otherwise dreadfully boring. All these actors, they've been on other Australian productions. Kate Lister's one. Tim Rose is another. He's done a lot of true crime TV movies. And Teresa Lane is a Australian actress who's been in some Netflix British productions and apparently been here in the US and Canada in The Vampire Diaries. So good for her. Okay. But so I guess an unofficial screen queen. I didn't think this was the worst thing of all time, but I just felt very disconnected. Like, it just looked very, even though it was like it looked like it had a slightly bigger budget, but it just I don't know. Like, I'm not bothered by any kind of digital look, but I was very disconnected from it the whole time. I just felt like I was watching a video game cinematic rather than a movie. I didn't.
Yeah.
couldn't get engaged. But
Yeah.
I've seen worse, but I still give it kind of a 4 or 5 out of 10. I was like,
I think, and I think possibly the reason that Haley and I probably liked it during that particular
you didn't have to skip for anything.
Is that we were probably seeing a lot of other stuff, and I guess,
trust me, it is. That's just it. Like,
that was probably it. Compared to some of the other stuff we watched, we thought, actually, merciful fate, this is actually all right, and I don't want to.
Like, it's not incompetent, but it's not great,
No,
but it's also not trash. So
no, that's the thing, and sometimes that doesn't.
It's
really,
just a letdown, but I'm not. I'm not. I would watch it again over so many other bad movies we're going to talk on here today.
We'll return after these messages.
If you like small town mystery, crazy news, and wild history, then the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast is for you. Each week, Josh Mills and Wayne McCarty bring you the absolute best Florida has to offer. So if you're looking for a show that's safe for the family, but funny enough to help you escape everyday life, then listen to the Florida Men on Florida Man podcast. That's Florida Men, plural, on Florida Man podcast.
Hey, it's Brent Pope, the host of Breakfast with Brent Pope. You've seen me on some of your favorite TV shows saying things like, "Give it up, Jimmy. You got to sink this putt to win." On Breakfast with Brent Pope, I sit down with guests from the entertainment world, and we do it all over breakfast. Or should I say Brentfast? Every week on Brentfast, you get inside Hollywood info and tips, great breakfast recs and booty debates. Most of all, you get the most delightful 30 minutes of your week. So dig in. It's Brentfast time. Listen at Brentfast.com, Apple Podcasts, or wherever fine podcasts are found.
Follow us on the web on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. The podcast is available on Podbean, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Anchor, Apple, and anywhere else podcasts are available. Feel free to review our show and leave comments on any of those sites. Thanks a million for listening. It's a jacked up